Most people see a cactus and think, how could that possibly be food? But in Mexico, the nopal, the tender pad of the prickly pear cactus, has been a staple in our diet for thousands of years. It's one of our oldest ingredients, cultivated long before beans and corn spread across the continent. Today, you see it most notably in the flag behind me, underneath the eagle and the serpent. Nopales are rich in fiber, high in antioxidants, and also known to lower blood sugar. The nopal has been always more than just a food. It's medicine, history, and memory all wrapped into one, and today we're getting into it. And I'm going to show you how to prepare my nopales to put on your table and hopefully be one of your favorites for years to come. Let's get started. All right, guys, so we're gonna start off with this recipe. I'm gonna go over the ingredients that we're using today. Obviously, we're using the nopales here, the nopal cactus. It's an amazing ingredient. I really like using this in stews. It's really good. Like cooking it down with a guisado, like costillas de puerco and salsa verde with like chile de árbol in there would be incredible. I just really like, it's just a homey texture. My grandmother used to put it in stews and guisados all the time. Today, we're doing kind of like, maybe like a curtido, which would be like a pickle, because we are using a lot of vinegar to kind of preserve this. I'm using olive oil, apple cider vinegar, guajillo chiles. I'm gonna show you how to clean those now. We're using whole garlic, white onion, some sugar, some salt, and some water, okay? And the move that we're doing here is we're gonna clean these up. I'm gonna show you how to do it, believe me. And they do sell them like chopped up in the store, and they also sell them cleaned in full paddle form, so you can kind of buy whichever ones you want. If you wanna practice this skill, definitely maybe buy a couple, one or two, so you can keep practicing. But guys, make your lives easier. They sell them at the store. Just buy the ones that are peeled already, no problem. So if I were making this recipe, I would start by curing the cactus. We're gonna salt cure it. And what the salt cure is gonna do is gonna pull out all that kind of boogery bits, the mucilage that's in these. Mucilage is just basically what keeps this thing alive in the desert. You think about chia seeds and okra, very similar slimy textures, which honestly is what keeps people away from this ingredient, but salt curing it is gonna draw that out and make these flavors really sing. I like nopales a lot. They have a great flavor to me. Very earthy, of course, but also has some like citrusy vibes going on. We're just playing up on all that stuff by a little onion, garlic, chiles, vinegar, just bumping up these flavors to make an incredible side dish that you guys can do. But yeah, this video was pretty much inspired by walking through the grocery store and seeing these. I'm like, I should do something with those. And I haven't made this recipe in a while, so I wanted to share this one with you. So when I'm doing these, I like using gloves. Obviously, nobody wants to get stabbed while doing these. I just tried taking the ends off here. So try not to get too much. And then taking a knife, I'm using this beautiful knife by my buddy Nate, the blade maker. It's so good, it's perfect for jobs like this. So what you'll do is you'll just take your little knife, and you can honestly just turn your nopal like this if you want, or you could just let the knife do the work. So here, we're gonna take this off. Look at that. Just taking not a lot of it off, all right? And now what I like doing here is these thorns run a certain direction. They're running this way. So what I like doing with my knife, the back of my knife, is just kind of scraping them off like that. Okay. And they come off pretty easily. Just got to get a little bit of pressure going. There you go. And get these tip ones out of here. Sometimes too, I like using like an offset spatula. If you know what one of these is, you just kind of take it and have that do the job. What I wouldn't do is put the blade, the sharp blade, towards it, because then you'll tear it up and it looks like you just took a whole bunch of bites of raw cactus, which I don't recommend either. Unless, you know, you're curious like me, you want to see what it tastes like, which I think you should do with your ingredients. All right, but I'm gonna just keep cracking away with the back of your knife just to show you guys, all you need is a knife most of the time. A knife will get you out of a lot of situations. In the kitchen, okay? Don't quote me outside of the kitchen. All right. Boom, look at that. And just making sure it's nice and clean. Look at that, making sure the thorns are off. And this is a good looking cactus paddle. All right, guys, so we're gonna start cutting the nopales to our size. And you guys can cut them as big as you want, really, but you know, I try to cut them into bite-sized pieces just so people can like eat them a little easier. And if you still see a couple 2-3 spines, you could just kind of give a little onesie, a once over there. Yeah, we'll go here and then here, okay? And then what I'll do here as well is just take my knife and I'm just gonna give it very thin, like these. This is the vibe that we want, something like that. You can go thicker if you want. It's really just up to you, for real. Yeah, those look awesome. Okay, cool. And you can also, here's a nice little move that you guys can do is just stack them if you want. If you're in a rush, which I don't know why you would be. But, you know, if you want to get them done a little quicker, you can always stack like that as well. There we go. And for the smaller ones here, you could just kind of do it in half if they're too small. Don't worry about it too much. They don't have to be perfect. There we go. We're getting this into our bowl. Wonderful. Okay, now to this bowl, what we're gonna do, oop, got some cactus. See what I mean? The mucilage, man, it'll stick to you. We're gonna salt these. I'm gonna use a little bit more than half for this, okay? And we're just gonna toss these like that. All right, and we're gonna let these hang out at room temp for about an hour. You're gonna start seeing them kind of like sweat out all that, all the snot stuff. They're gonna sweat it out, again, mucilage, right? They're gonna sweat that out within the first 20 minutes, but we really want this to kind of draw out all that moisture. Through osmosis is what we're gonna get this beautiful, crunchy textured nopal, all right? So let these sit out for about an hour at room temp, and in the meantime, we're gonna start processing the rest of our ingredients. Let's go. So I'm gonna take my onion, my garlic, and my guajillos. I'm gonna show you what I like to do. For the onion, I kind of cut it in the same shape as the nopales here. So I'm gonna take it, you can cut it this way too, in half, and then just give it a little julienne vibe. Do one of those, that's fine. Or you could just straight up julienne it, that works as well. Here we go, that's out of the way. And for the garlic, you can put it on a mandolin and get it super paper thin. Not a big deal, you can just take your knife and just get a very thin slice on it, no problem. There we go. I do like it on the mandolin just because it's a little finer, but don't go crazy over it. No big deal. And aside from the waiting for these nopales to cure, this recipe comes together pretty quickly. And it's so satisfying. Like I said, you can put this next to a steak. It's amazing. You know, it does really well with like frijoles de la olla. Again, have a recipe for that on my page. Maybe a piece of cheese and some tortillas and you're ready to go. So for the guajillos, there's a couple ways to do it. You can take them and kind of take your knife like that and cut them into strips like so, which is a nice way to do it. And then you can dust off the seeds too. But this does dull your knife a little bit, I won't lie. But you can also take, you know, if you have some scissors here, just give them a little haircut. I mean, you really just got to make it as easy as you can. And the cool thing about the scissors situation is you can do it like this. You can double them up like this and just kind of boom, boom, boom. But I'm just gonna keep going with my knife because I was just, you know, I was in a nice little groove there. And don't go crazy about the seeds here. You can just shake them off and get rid of the seeds because you don't want the seeds, all right? And you do want this very fine because these are gonna rehydrate in all the vinegar and our liquid, and you really want to get these super tender. The last thing you want is somebody chewing on like crispy, long guajillos. So we're just gonna take our time with this. There we go. And again, don't fret about the seeds. They're gonna come out anyway. You'll see in a second. There we go. Last one. Done. Cool. And remember I was saying about the seeds. Okay, look. You're just gonna kind of fluff them up, shake them out, put them there. And look, all the seeds should stay in a little pile. All right, if you're fluffing up like that, shaking them out, boom. All right, look, and we have these amazing looking, look at that. Our little guajillos ready. And guys, we're ready to cook these nopales. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss the next recipe on the Goat Boy channel. We would love to have you a part of the community here. Anyway, back to the recipe. So I'm gonna bring up my pan here to like a medium heat, all right? And to my pan, I'm gonna add the olive oil. Got one little sliver in there that I don't want to be in there. There we go. Can he hold it off? And he held it off. Lovely. All right, olive oil goes in. And to the olive oil, we're gonna add our onion. Oh yeah, that's the sound we want. To this, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. Always add a little pinch of salt when you're sweating out your onions. Okay. And while we're waiting for those to cook down, I'm gonna show you what happened with our nopales. So I'm gonna dump these into a bowl. And look at that. That's the reason we salted them and cured them. This stuff, okay? Look at that. It's like a cheese pull. Okay, I'm gonna get a little spoon or something to scrape this off while this goes here. Simple recipe. I'm using olive oil. If you want to use like a neutral oil or whatever, because it might be a little strong of a flavor for you, do that. So we're gonna take this. I'm telling you, there's nothing sexy about this. Look at this. Look at all this stuff that's coming out. All right, and you can shake it and draw more out here. There we go. But honestly, look how much is coming out. There's like a cup in here. Look at this. So much. All right, and we're still gonna take this and rinse it off. So I'm just taking some cold water. Yeah, that's just gonna keep coming out. So I'm gonna just take some cold water, and you can do this under the faucet, but because I'm facing you guys, this is what I'm gonna do right now. And shake it around, strain it off, okay? And what you wanna do is kind of agitate them a little bit to draw out that extra stuff there, okay? Ooh, too much. There we go. I'm gonna lower my heat here a little bit. Give these a stir. All right, and again, there's still so much coming out. And this is why I salt cure them, is because this is a texture that, you know, not everyone likes. I don't mind them. I like old school nopales that you cut them, you saute them with a little onion, little garlic, and, you know, salt, and that's it. But look, I feel good about where they're at now. You can keep going as far as you want. It's just gonna keep coming out. But at a certain point, you're just gonna have to call it. But I'm happy with where we're at now. It feels like it's good. And you know, you wanna still feel like you're eating nopales. You don't wanna not get that texture. I like that texture, I don't mind it. But this is a nice little move to do if you're worried about that texture, okay? So I'm gonna get this off to the side. This goes discarded. This goes discarded. It's getting discarded. I like this color that's happening here. It's beautiful. We'll raise the heat a little bit. Start sauteing. Our garlic's gonna go into this. And again, if you wanna do this thinner, do it on the mandolin, no problem. Our chiles guajillos are gonna go in there, and it's gonna turn our oil into like a beautiful red hue. Look at that. Already, it's happening. Okay, lovely. This looks so good. It smells amazing. Now to this, our nopales are going in. I'm gonna give them one final little scrape here. Make sure they look good. They look good. They're gonna go in, and we're just gonna cook them until they kind of change color a little bit. Wonderful. And this recipe does better when it sits overnight and gets a chance to kind of hang out and mature a little bit and get amazing flavored. Trust me. And you could take this and just serve it as is, or what I like to do as well, and I'll show you guys, is making a little salad with it. So a little fresh tomato in there, some white onion as well, and then a little queso fresco. Man, that salad goes crazy. So good. Okay, I feel good there. Now we're gonna add our salt, our leftover salt. We're gonna add our sugar to this. We're gonna add some water. And we're gonna add some apple cider vinegar there. Okay, and these are things that can be adjusted. If you're using a wider pot, something to think about. If you're using a wider pot, that vinegar and oil and all that stuff is not gonna have a chance to travel along the nopales. So if it's too wide, if your pan's too wide, you're not gonna get the same result. So it's very important to use the proper pot for this, guys. Look at this. So now the name of the game is just to cook the nopales until they're just done. Oh yeah, you can see that color change happening right there. That's lovely. What I'm gonna do right now is try the liquid in there. See where we're at on flavor, salt. Okay. All right, I'm gonna lower the heat here. It's a little too hot. Okay, I think I'm good there. We're good here. We'll try this again. I like them. I like where it's at. It's seasoned nicely. I wouldn't put any more salt in there because again, we're gonna try it tomorrow. I feel like it's rounded with that sugar. It's nice. The spice is coming through from the chiles very nicely. I'm happy with the cook on this. You can see these, the nopales are tender. Try one. They're giving like a crunchy asparagus right now. It's amazing. They still have an amazing crunch, and that has a lot to do with salt curing it. It's kind of like a blanch almost, but man, it has a beautiful crunch. Okay, so from here, I have a jar, okay? I'm just gonna transfer them over. I'm gonna let them cool open, and then they're gonna get popped into the fridge when they're room temp, okay? And again, store them in a steep-sided jar because it's gonna give all that vinegar and water and everything a chance to kind of travel up alongside the nopales. Oops. And make sure that they're submerged. That's a big key, a major key. Just push this down, okay? Push this down, just like that. Nopales done. We're gonna let these cool. They're gonna go in the fridge. This thing, guys, I'm telling you, anytime you make food, you're gonna have to adjust it, okay? When I'm giving you these recipes, it's with the understanding and agreement with you guys that you guys are the cook. You guys are cooking it to your taste. Tomorrow, I'm gonna taste this and make sure the sugar is good, the salt is good, the oil level's good, because it will absorb a little bit of that. So the name of the game with this, maybe add a little bit of extra vinegar, maybe season with sugar, a little bit of, I don't think it needs any more oil, but you just want to make sure that all these nopales are underneath that layer. It's gonna just keep for a longer time, but these are incredible. Anyway, we're letting these cool, and I'm gonna show you guys how to use them, or how I like them, all right? The nopales have been pickling for a little bit now. What I did is I put it in an ice bath to cool down. This way it stops the cooking. It keeps the nopales a little crispier, but you can see like the beautiful, oh, one went into the water, whoops. But you can see the beautiful texture on these, and the guajillos are perfectly hydrated. I'm gonna chomp. Texture's crunchy, crispy. Like I'm saying, you can put those on the side of like a carne asada. If you haven't seen that video, we did a carne asada video a couple weeks back. Check that out. This would be a perfect accompaniment to making a carne asada. So I wanted to show you guys a little ensaladita, or like a salad that you can make with nopales, which I think is really awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a Roma tomato here, and I'm just gonna core it like that. Okay, I'm gonna cut it in half. It's gonna be a very rustic salad. So for the tomatoes, I'm gonna go like in pieces like this big, I think is good. And we'll cut this into thirds like that. That looks great. And I'm just gonna cut like small pieces. It's not tomato season, but I really, you know, this is what we have right now. Okay, just little pieces like that. And honestly, guys, if you put these nopales, if you chopped them up and put them in a pico de gallo, they would go crazy. They're super versatile, like I said. But again, they keep for a long time in the fridge. They keep for months. There we go. That's this. So into this bowl, I'm gonna just be putting my ingredients here. Boom. And what I like doing for any tomato salad, right here I have a little bit of sal de Colima. This is from the coast of Mexico here. Colima's a state. They produce some amazing salt. You can see how beautiful and flaky it is. I'm just gonna season these tomatoes lightly. So tomatoes done. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of, we don't need much onion. I'm using red onion here, you know, I'm vibing. And this one I'm gonna do a little bit of like a julienne is good. There we go. Julienne, there it is. And then I'm gonna do some cilantro in here. That looks good there. About that much. For the cilantro, I'm just gonna take the ends off here. And this is gonna be just a little rough chop. Okay, and I'm gonna keep some of these leaves towards the end, a little whole. Like that, those look great. All right, so the chopped cilantro is gonna go in, okay? And then I'm gonna take a lime and roll it. Okay, a nice squeeze of it. Boom, in here. Nice squeeze of lime. I'm gonna take some of these nopales and I'm just gonna plop them into this salad. Some people don't like nopales. I know my sister and Jennifer were just in here and they were like, nope, not for me. I'm like, I get it. It's definitely an acquired taste, but I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna eat nice right now. Look at this, full of vitamins, super healthy. I think that's enough salad for me. I'm gonna mix this up. Look how beautiful and vibrant that looks. Like, are you kidding me? So it has oil in there. It has a beautiful oil, that guajillo chili in there. This is one way I like serving them. It's gonna need a touch more salt. And that salt is just, man, it's so good. It's delicious. Let me taste. Yeah, a little bit more lime. This is just one example of something you can do with what we made today. Nopales. I'm gonna add some more nopales to this though, because I I want a little bit more pronounced of a flavor. There we go. Okay. Now we're gonna taste this. Taste as we go with the nopales and all that. Beautiful. Seasoning's nice, I'm happy with it. Okay. Now we're gonna plate. All right, I'm gonna use all this because I really, again, and you know what? If you make this salad, you can always serve it like as a side as well. Look at all this amazing juice in there that's going in as well. Okay, and now I'm gonna do some queso fresco on here. A little quesito fresco. That looks like it's enough. I mean, it's really never enough for the queso fresco. I love queso fresco. Okay, it's gonna get a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and then just some cilantro over the top. Doesn't need that much. All right, boom. And that's just one thing that you can make with these nopales, guys. It's something that you can just do on the fly. You have these in the fridge, you make a nice little salad and then you make it. It's incredible. These are the nopales, they're dunzo. Look at these guys, and they're amazing. And this is just a little ensalada that I made, this little salad. I'm gonna try it. And this is so freaking healthy for you, man. Look at this. Look at that. Man, that is so damn good. It doesn't get much better than that, at least in my opinion. That's so freaking good. Incredible texture. The nopal is beautifully textured. The flavor is so good, garlicky. That chile guajillo just gives it another dimension. Anyway, guys, that has been nopales. I don't know, what are we calling these? Nopales encurtidos. Anyway, guys, that's the video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you can. Hit the notification button so you don't miss the next one. Definitely try these, and they keep for a long time in your fridge. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from me and the channel. I appreciate you guys being here. I will see you on the next one. Peace. Bye. I'm off. Shh.